In the fast-paced world we live in, emotions can feel overwhelming at times. We might find ourselves swept up in the intensity of the moment, reacting impulsively, or getting caught in a cycle of emotional highs and lows. In seeking emotional balance, many of us turn to philosophy for guidance, and one school of thought that offers valuable insights is Stoicism. But Stoicism, often misunderstood as advocating for emotional suppression or detachment, doesn't encourage shutting off our feelings altogether. Instead, it offers a way to understand and manage them, so we can respond to life's challenges with clarity, composure, and purpose. At the same time, there's the need for compassion and empathy, especially in our relationships with others. So, how do we reconcile these two seemingly conflicting ideas, emotional detachment and empathy? How can we stay centered in the face of intense emotions while also being compassionate toward those around us? That's what we'll explore today, balancing the Stoic practice of detachment with the need for empathy. We'll discuss how Stoic philosophy teaches us to approach emotions with wisdom and how we can use practical techniques to remain grounded while also offering empathy to others. Let's begin by looking at the Stoic approach to emotions. The Stoics believe that emotions themselves aren't inherently good or bad. Instead, it's our judgments and reactions to those emotions that shape how they affect us. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This means that our emotional responses are shaped by the stories we tell ourselves about the world and about ourselves. If we see an event as a threat, we might feel fear or anger. If we see it as an opportunity for growth, we might feel calm and curiosity. One of the core Stoic principles is the idea of apatheia, which is often translated as detachment or freedom from passion. However, this doesn't mean we are to suppress or ignore our emotions. Instead, it's about developing the ability to respond to emotions thoughtfully, rather than being controlled by them. The Stoics taught that we can't always control the external events that happen in our lives, but we can control how we respond to them. They understood that emotional turmoil comes from the way we perceive and interpret the world. For example, if someone criticizes us, we can choose to see it as an attack on our character, or we can choose to see it as an opportunity to reflect on our behavior and improve. The Stoic approach encourages us to pause, step back, and choose how we react, instead of being swept away by our emotions. In this way, detachment doesn't mean indifference. It's about choosing to act with wisdom, even when emotions are strong. Now, let's consider the other side of the coin, empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's essential for building meaningful connections and fostering compassion. But can we be empathetic without losing ourselves in the process? Can we offer support to others without getting caught in their emotional storms? The key is balance. While Stoicism teaches us to manage our own emotions, empathy invites us to be present with the emotions of others. It's not about shutting ourselves off or avoiding the emotional experience of others. It's about learning to be present and compassionate while maintaining our own emotional equilibrium. So, how do we practice this balance? Let's explore some practical techniques that can help us stay grounded while also cultivating empathy. The first technique is pausing. This simple practice involves taking a moment before reacting, especially in emotionally charged situations. When you feel your emotions rising, whether it's anger, frustration, or even sadness, pause. Take a deep breath, step back, and give yourself space to process the situation before responding. This pause allows you to create some distance between the event and your emotional reaction, which gives you the opportunity to choose a more measured response. This technique is particularly useful when engaging with others. If someone is upset or emotional, instead of immediately reacting or trying to fix the situation, take a moment to simply listen. In that moment of pause, you can reflect on your own emotional state and assess whether you're reacting from a place of wisdom or from a place of emotional reactivity. The second technique is journaling. This is an effective way to process emotions and gain clarity. In Stoic philosophy, journaling is often used as a way to reflect on one's thoughts and actions. When we write about our emotions, we externalize them, making them easier to observe and understand. Journaling also allows us to identify patterns in our emotional reactions, so we can become more aware of what triggers certain feelings. To use journaling as a tool for emotional balance, try writing about a situation that's causing you emotional turmoil. Ask yourself questions like, what is the underlying belief that is causing this emotional reaction? Is there another perspective I could consider? What would the wise response be in this situation? Journaling in this way helps you separate yourself from the emotion, observe it objectively, and respond more thoughtfully. The third technique is mindful listening. Often, when we engage with others who are struggling emotionally, we feel compelled to offer advice or to solve their problems. However, true empathy often requires us to simply listen, to be present with the person without rushing to fix things. Mindful listening is a practice that involves giving the other person your full attention, without judgment or interruption. It's not about offering solutions or opinions. It's about holding space for the other person's experience. When you practice mindful listening, you're acknowledging the person's feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them. You're maintaining your own emotional center while offering compassion and understanding. This allows you to stay grounded, even in emotionally charged situations. As we've explored today, the balance between emotional detachment and empathy is essential for emotional health. On one hand, Stoicism teaches us to manage our own emotions and respond to life with wisdom, without being controlled by our feelings. On the other hand, empathy encourages us to connect with others and offer support, without losing ourselves in their emotions. To find this balance, we can use techniques like pausing, journaling, and mindful listening. These practices allow us to remain grounded and centered, while also being compassionate and present with others. The goal is not to suppress or disconnect from our emotions, but to cultivate a thoughtful and intentional response, rooted in clarity and wisdom. Now, I challenge you to try these techniques in your daily life. When faced with an emotionally charged situation, pause before reacting. Use journaling to reflect on your feelings and the underlying beliefs that shape them. Practice mindful listening when interacting with others, offering them space to share their emotions without judgment. By integrating these practices into your life, you can find greater emotional balance and build deeper, more meaningful connections with those around you. Thank you for joining me in exploring the balance between Stoic detachment and empathy. May you continue to grow in wisdom, compassion, and emotional resilience.